And we are live, everybody, and welcome to a Super Bowl edition of the Pigskin in the Mosh Pit podcast. I am the moderator tonight, and let me announce to you the guys coming in tonight on the panel. First up, we have from Doom Candy, ex-Mushroom Head co-founder and lead singer, we got Mr. Jeff Hatrix. What's up, man? Uh-oh. He's gone. He was there. Oh, I got a message here. Let me see what this thing says. This could be. Well, let me get the other guys in. We'll leave Jeff for a second. We got Mr. Don Foose. What's up, Don? One light fall in. What's happening, Don?
You the man.
I got Jeff back in here. Okay, he's back. He's connected again. He's looking a little back. It's looking a little sketchy though. It's jumping around. Let's see what we got here. Boom. There he is, Jeff. What's up, man?
Haterade.
Uh-oh.
Dude, that's sign language, bro.
You can't hear you, Jeff. You can't hear you. You're looking. Hold on. You got nothing. I'm gonna turn you off. We're gonna turn you off for a second here. Hold on a second. What's it saying? Do you know sign language? No sign. Hold on a second. I'm gonna bring. There he is.
I have you with no headphones, but I can't hear it that way.
Oh,
hello.
Can you hear now?
It was weird. It was weird. Once Dan showed up, the sound disappeared.
Oh, he's stealing your sound, stealing your thunder, as we say. All right, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna bring Dan in real quick, everybody. Dan Gilles.
Cross my fingers.
What's up, Dan?
What's up, everybody?
Everybody knows Dan Gilles. All right, guys. It's been a fun few weeks off without having to, it's been a little bit of off season after all that crazy stuff that happened during the season. It was almost like we've had time to kind of like look back on everything. You kind of like digest it, I guess, is the way to look at it, I guess. And you kind of start rationalizing a little better what really took place and everything. So we thought it was a good time to bring back the podcast, do a little bullshitting.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. No, you just lost me.
Big Bri gone blackface.
He went black.
Yeah.
There he is.
Hey, there's the microphone.
Hey, it's Mike.
Let's do this again. This has been a lot of fun. Good start. You can tell we haven't done this in a little while.
It's been a while.
All right. Yeah, so we thought it was a good time to bring it back. Plus Super Bowl's this weekend, so it's like, what the fuck? We'll do it. We'll do a little podcast, have a little fun with it. Got a lot to talk about, really. I mean, we all do. I mean, we all got stuff we'd like to talk about. We all like to talk. And I got some notes here, some stuff, basic stuff that we can talk about that's been going on with the Browns. So I'd like to start off with the Browns. Super Bowl will be at the end there. A lot of changes that have taken place already. Basically, all of the coaching staff that we're pretty much aware of. Couple little things that had happened right off the bat is they let go of our running backs coach and tight ends coach, both Stump Mitchell and TC McCartney. And then soon after that, Alex Van Pelt was announced let go. So those three guys were out pretty quickly. And then it was a matter of getting people in here.
New defensive line coach.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That is correct. Correct. New defensive line coach, too. Jacques Césaire. Is that how you say his name? Césaire.
And we lost our buddy Bill.
Yeah, he was with the Texans.
Yeah. And then we also lost our offensive line coach. Not just
Brian Callahan.
I think they should promote Peters, man. Why not?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I get it, man. In this town, everything is always like so like feared. Oh my God.
The sky is always falling when you're a Browns fan.
Yeah.
We're going to end up having a young offensive line next year, though, because we're going to lose Conklin. He's just old and he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
We don't want Wills anymore.
No. Like it, right? Not for that position especially.
Yeah, DeJuan Jones. We're hoping he's okay, and then you got
maybe we could
Teller.
get Becton cheap.
Who?
Maybe we could get Mekhi Becton cheap and have 6'8" on both ends.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Like big rooks.
But we got Wyatt Teller. That's good. We need that left side offensive tackle though. Still, we need maybe some free agency or the draft.
So they go out and they're bringing in some new dudes, right? And they bring in Staley to do the running back coach,
former Steeler.
Yeah.
Former Eagle.
Yeah.
So there you go. And there's the tie, I think, with Andrew Berry, if anything, right? Would that be correct to think that way? That's where he came from.
Anything Philadelphia is connected with him and Stefanski, really.
Yeah. Stefanski's a Philadelphia native.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that was a weird move in a way to me, because like if there was one thing like you always heard and it seemed was that dude Mitchell was like pretty much all the running backs seemed to like him and seemed everything was kosher at the time, and then all of a sudden it just was
lost Chubb, and where'd the running game go?
Well, yeah, it's true. Well, and I think every great coach, winds up at some point having a great player or great players, and therefore he's a great coach, and that's been proven on.
So what I heard was Stump was a media leak, and
yeah,
and they didn't take too kindly to that, and it's been suspected for a few years, and they finally, I don't know if he just ran his mouth a little too much or what, but he got busted, and the injuries to Chubb and the struggles within afterward didn't help him at all. So I think that was just kind of the icing on the cake to get rid of Stump.
I feel good about the tight ends guy.
Yeah, Reese.
Yeah.
He was an offensive coordinator at Alabama.
Yeah.
Played tight end in Notre Dame. And
I like how you get the title pass game specialist. That's also attached to him. I mean, that's really I mean, you got to ask for that. You know what I mean? Are you like, you know what, guys, I really appreciate that I'm going to be the tight ends coach, but can you throw pass game specialist on the title there for me? I mean, I'm
kind of hoping that Gabe Davis follows Dorsey from Buffalo.
Yeah, he'd be nice. He'd be real nice.
You know what I'm worried about? I'm worried about Nick Chubb not coming back 100%. And the running backs room, man, I'm not sold on Jerome Ford, and Hunt's getting a little long in the tooth, and he's
not even on the team, is he? I mean, really,
he's a free agent.
Yeah,
I like Strong in his limited.
I like Strong
opportunities.
Strong's a good special teams guy too, so that helps him. Plus, he's fast.
Ford just had way too much.
I think we need to work.
Too much hesitation.
I think our special teams is the key this year too, man. We got Corey Bojorquez, and then Dustin Hopkins. I mean, I think they're the best 1-2 punch in the league.
They're both agents too.
I think the Browns have learned how to value their kicker. I think it's through trial and error.
Yeah, just watching what the Ravens have been able to do with Tucker. I mean,
true story.
Yeah.
And win a lot of close games.
Broke that record on a bogus call.
Yeah.
Clock ran way out.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Hey, what do you guys think about
So Ken Dorsey, I was going to ask though. Ken Dorsey is the hire. I mean, this guy's the hire. Van Pelt. What the fuck was Van Pelt? Like what was this dude? Like I'm not quite sure. Ever did I understand?
He was the glue.
He was the glue.
I think he was just, he was what kept the glue in the locker room, but he was a puppet, really. I think.
Yeah. They had to have an offensive coordinator, and they're like, that guy. Just stand there.
You needed that in-game voice in Stefanski's ear, and he seemed pretty quiet.
So then,
I think he was more like a cheerleader than anything else.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, man. Because Stefanski doesn't want to give up call duty.
Well, maybe Van Pelt's the guy that the players like, and then so that like through Van Pelt he can sell whatever he needs to sell to the players, maybe through that guy. So like, I'm wondering then, why do you get rid of that dude and get somebody else in there? Is it like, I there's like some of that stuff that I'm just have never really quite understood. Is it a fall guy thing? Is that kind of what
I think there could be some merit to the fall guy thing. I do think that they know that they haven't seen the best out of Watson, and like it or not, they're married to him for the next 3 years. So
yeah, he's the boss.
He's the boss. So it's like you want to bring in somebody that can bring out the best in him. Bring out his athletic ability, his mobility. He makes plays on the run, can move the pocket, that type of thing. And Van Pelt was more of like a West Coast offense, quick passes, pocket presence. That's why Flacco thrived, because that's what he's good at. But Watson was uncomfortable, and I also think that part of me thinks that Stefanski is going to eventually give up play calling. Maybe not this year, but maybe in the middle of the year. I feel like this will be his 5th year. I feel like he's kind of becoming more head coach-ish and wants somebody that he can trust to call the offense and call it effectively. And Dorsey's done it in Buffalo.
Yeah, but doesn't it scare you, though? Like Dorsey, when he was calling plays for Josh Allen, he wasn't thriving. Once he left, the game he left, he went on fire. He went on a tear.
He brought the best out of Dorsey before, he brought the best out of Josh Allen before that, and he definitely, I think he had Cam Newton's best year under Dorsey.
Yeah. I think Dorsey was the fall guy in Buffalo. They were turning the ball over, and it seemed like they
dropping
were dropping passes, and I feel like they just they wanted to shake things up, and the offense didn't get better after he left. It got more consistent.
He was throwing interceptions though, and I put that on the quarterback every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you don't have to throw that pass.
Yeah,
no matter what, right?
That Dorsey's been criticized of is that he gets a little bit technical with scheming and stuff like that.
No
but
wonder
I know it's probably
he loves them.
Stefanski.
Yeah, no wonder he loves them. They probably fucking loved each other.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hopefully there'll be less trick plays and more straightforward football.
So let me ask you guys all a question. I want you guys all to answer this separately, because this is probably on a lot of people's mind. I'm even curious what you guys think. So now, I remember when we first started this podcast and everything, we were all pretty much for the Watson deal, getting Watson. Watson was fine by us. So now Baker Mayfield has all these accolades and all these things. And he's been dead. He's been in the spotlight again. And all, and it's the same shit. And so after everything that's happened, you look back, do you think we did the right thing still? Are you guys having any regrets whatsoever? How do you feel about what's going on?
Zero regrets.
Year two. This is 2 years in. What are you thinking?
Zero regrets.
Start with Dan. What's that now?
I got zero. I think Baker was never going to thrive here.
For whatever reason, I don't know if he just... It seemed like he rubbed his teammates the wrong way. He rubbed his coaching staff the wrong way. He started to rub the front office the wrong way. I just feel like he needed, if he was going to succeed, he needed to get away from Cleveland, and Cleveland needed to get away from him. Yeah. And his little temper tantrum on the way out, when all they did was talk to Watson, and he was like, "Oh, I'm out of here. Here's my letter, and trade me," And I feel like that was kind of like the last straw. I don't know if Tampa is the right place for him. I mean, he did better, but they were 9-8. He's
got some great receivers there too. Let's just
Mike Evans is quarterback's best friend.
Come to Cleveland, brother.
Yeah. He made Johnny Manziel win a Heisman Trophy. That's how good Mike Evans is.
Right.
No, it's a true story. It's a true story right there.
So, I mean, the only thing with Watson is that you would hope that he wouldn't be as injury prone as he's been. And it was like it's finally the worst timing too was you could see he was finally getting confidence. He finally was showing the Watson of old, and all of a sudden, boom, there goes his shoulder, and he's done. So now you're kind of like back to square one. It's like, okay, now is he gonna be, skipping balls to players when he comes back like he was before, or is he gonna come right in and start ripping them? When you have a surgery in your throwing shoulder like that, it's questionable. Just like the knee surgery with Chubb. He had made 2 major knee surgeries in the span of 3 months, and you don't know how well he's going to bounce back from that. So your 2 biggest offensive playmakers have question marks because of their injury.
Again, question marks, huge ones, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and from that perspective, yeah, I mean, you kind of would maybe do a do-over on it, but I still think that
the move needed to be made when it needed to be made, and for better or worse, I think the Browns maybe jumped the gun with the contract and the whatever. Mostly because of Mayfield saying I want out, and I'm writing a letter to say bye to Cleveland, and they probably felt like they had to,
And you have an owner with an endless check amount
of
of money.
100%.
Okay, I still forget about the owner because that played a huge part. Don, what do you think about that?
I'm so glad that Mayfield left. He wasn't producing when he was here, and there was always an excuse, always hurt. Well, he'd have a good first half, and then he'd just fall apart in the second. So he unhurt for the first half of one game, and then just, it was mental with him. And I've been, anytime I see people glorifying how great Baker is and how we should be regretting it, I've been posting this little meme where it says that I think since 2020, Baker Mayfield's thrown 18 fourth quarter interceptions, since that time. And it's like when we needed him to be great is where he just dropped the ball.
Yeah, every time. We always fell short, just like always. He was no different.
I'm glad.
We did that in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I wanted him to.
You're right.
I wanted him to succeed.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
And when I say fell short, that's no pun intended. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, Doug Flutie-ish.
Yes.
Yes, that to me, that's my biggest thing. But anyways, Jeff, what do you think? What's your take?
Baker has some great games. The Jets game still sticks out in my head.
Yeah, me too.
Sure. Yeah, it's a great one.
When
My
he
favorite
decided to play, you win a playoff game against Steelers, the next year is the year make or break Baker. He decides I messed up. I'm gonna fix it by playing defense, and he's a target by anyone on that field. Once he makes that decision, the season is lost.
Yeah,
he tries to play, he can't do it. He's a little bit like Watson in the Indianapolis game, but it's just everybody was all pumped on what he's doing in Tampa as it was happening. He was beating nobodies.
Yeah.
The 8 losses were against good teams. Yeah. And then, he just shows up in the worst way when you're counting on him most in that playoff game. And then the Watson thing, he was not coming here unless they gave him that money. He'd be in Atlanta right now or somewhere down south, closer to home.
Yep.
And it's really not that terrible of money. Burrow's making more. 3 or 4 other guys are making more. It's just that it's guaranteed. Yeah. But what did Burrow do last year? You got to watch the games just like Watson.
Let me say one more thing about Baker Mayfield. Like everyone likes to say, he brought us our first playoff win in so many years. That game against Pittsburgh. Don't forget that first snap that went over Roethlisberger. We scored a touchdown off that, and then we had a pick six. I think I can't remember who did it, as Delpit or somebody ran one back for a touchdown. Maybe it was Harrison.
We scored. We had 4 scores before. We had 4 scores before you knew it.
Yeah, and then if we took away those,
and then the game became
touchdowns, we lost because they came back.
Yeah,
they made it a closer game.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. Look, Baker had some really good games. He there was times where he looked spectacular actually with us. I mean, there was moments. And the other thing about that is, I will say this. Excuse me. I will say this. It's the same thing with Flacco. Baker looked spectacular partially because of who has been in that position as a Cleveland Brown for the last 20-some years. When Baker came in, he was the best quarterback I've seen in a Browns uniform in a long time. So,
Brian Hoyer.
As they say, the eye test, right?
Yeah.
Then you get a guy like Flacco that comes in here and he's throwing these bullets around like I haven't seen that before. Not in a Browns uniform. I never saw that.
Derek Anderson, maybe.
Yeah.
If we had any kind of running game.
My point is that, sometimes, Baker, a lot of people got sold on Baker because he was like the savior. Just like they got sold on Flacco. Like, I thought Flacco was fun. I thought he was cool, but I always knew that he wasn't going to stay here. I knew that. You couldn't. How do you make that work? Yeah,
what do you think we should do now? We need a good backup. I mean, we going after Brissett again, or what do you guys think?
The only way they can get Flacco back is if Flacco just for some reason says, fuck it, I just want to go to Cleveland and I don't care what it takes.
I would love that.
Yeah, and if he did that, he'd be like, they would probably just the people would build a statue of him.
Yeah.
They would just do it.
But I just want to add one more thing about Watson.
Go ahead.
He was already playing a little bit hurt in the Tennessee game. and Arden Key had wanted revenge on him for something in the past, and he hit him in that shoulder with his helmet. He just torpedoed that shoulder, and he was done for the year then. And who knows what could have been. I mean, he was coming around that second half of that Baltimore game, 14-14.
Well, that's
Come
what
back
I'm wondering.
from two scores down.
Yeah, that was a great game for him.
Yeah.
And see, that's something
Who knows
that
what
I'm
could have
wondering.
been, man? And
I don't look at this. I don't know enough about this, but I'm wondering too if, Haslam or somebody steps in, or even Barry steps in at some point here now at the offseason and says, look, what you guys are doing isn't working, and especially in the way that you're not keeping this guy protected. This guy's getting hammered. He's been hurt. He plays a couple games, and you guys are twice the same shoulder. I mean, you got to do better than that of protecting this dude somehow, some way. Houston did it, and that's how management works. So all of a sudden, they're like, all right, Van Pelt out. Get somebody in here. Now, see, I don't know what Dorsey's record is on that level, but, you guys are talking about Josh Allen. You guys are talking about these guys that he's coached. I'd like to see, did these guys stay upright for 16 games a season? Is that what they're looking at? Are they saying, hey, these guys know how to keep their quarterbacks healthy, these running quarterbacks? Maybe that's what they're looking at. I don't know.
It could be because I mean, Allen never really takes time off. And for someone who runs around like he does.
But he's the size of a running back too, though.
Oh, true. But he never gets injured. And then go back to Cam Newton.
Yeah.
When he had him, that was his best year, and they went to the Super Bowl that year, I believe, and lost a tough game to the Broncos. But he was an MVP candidate, and he was 100% healthy the whole year. I think there is credence to that thing that he's getting these mobile quarterbacks that are RPO, getting out in space, running, making plays with their legs. Watson's that way. They were healthy. They played at an elite level. That could very well be a big reason why he got the job over some other guys that were looking for it.
Yeah.
I mean, Watson, he's played with, I believe, a punctured lung, broken ribs. He wasn't really injury prone, or at least not in a way that would keep him out of games till this year. In 2020, he was, I think, statistically the best quarterback. And it really comes down to getting that left tackle right. I mean, they fixed the defensive line this past season. They got a fixed left tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to lose our defensive end, though, opposite side Garrett, though. So that's another hole in.
Obarakwa was a nice player before he got hurt.
Yeah.
They got a big problem. They got a big problem at wide receiver, the Browns right now, dude. They got a huge hole that's gaping, and I know they've mentioned it. I hear them talk a little bit about it, but I think it's a lot bigger problem. I'll tell you why I think it's a huge problem. I think it's a huge problem because they suck at it. That's why I think it's a huge problem, because the Browns are not good at acquiring wide receivers.
Amari Cooper,
historically, no, yeah,
no, they're not. That's it. Cooper's the it, and I'll admit he's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal player. I love
Watson's trying to get T. Higgins to come.
I know, but there's only.
Cooper needs to get glued to Tillman. They need to be like inseparable, and he needs to teach that guy how to run routes.
Yeah,
he's got good size.
Cooper's been phenomenal for us. I think he's underrated. Actually, I think people. I think people don't give him enough credit. I get, every time I see him limping, I'm like, oh God, no.
I know.
But I mean, like, I love the guy, but I think he's a year older, and I think that I don't think more. I think more was less. And I wasn't impressed with him.
Moore's a great receiver to look at last year with the Jets. He just needs to, they need to play together more. They got 5-6 games.
Yeah,
not even, because he wasn't in the Colts game either.
Yeah,
we're good at getting guys with speed that don't have hands.
Yeah,
Like they had Anthony Schwartz types,
we take chances. Like, we like to pick them up in the late rounds and think that we could, like, a reclamation, or not even a reclamation, but just a whole project in general, where these guys, hey, he's a track star and he can run. He's there, and they're like, we'll teach him how to catch. Well,
we need a Brian Brennan type. We need that small, fast guy, a Brian Brennan,
guy that gets open
type.
Guy that gets open 12 yards downfield and can potentially stretch it to 20, 25 with running.
Yep, get the yak.
Yeah, I would like to see them get a guy like that, but I just think the only way the Browns are going to acquire that is the way they got Cooper. They got to trade for it and something that's a
They got
proven
a deal on
commodity.
him too.
I don't trust them to do it in the draft. I mean, I just think they suck at it. I mean, like there's just some things that you're not good at. They're not good at wide receivers.
Look at Gabe
we don't
Davis.
have a first round pick anyway. It's going to be
suck. No, you're right. But
look at Gabe Davis in the one game that they almost beat Kansas City in.
Yeah.
201 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's probably going to follow Dorsey here.
Oh, really?
One game against Kansas City. 201 yards, 4 TDs.
Yeah, this year Davis wasn't as everyone thought Davis would be like take that next step, and for whatever reason, he just kind of got lost in the shuffle there this year. And I don't know why.
I believe they have one other guy that's about to be a free agent too.
Shakir?
I think so.
He was pretty good too. He had a couple of good games. And then Diggs kind of started to mouth off and get pouty.
Yeah.
Phased him out.
I think he got on Allen's nerves a little bit. Allen was like, what the hell, like he's talking about him in the media,
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, can't do that. You got to keep the rapport.
No, but I do like Davis's upside though. He does have a lot of upside. He could be.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you, it's going to be really interesting. This coming in year is, it was a really interesting year. The whole camaraderie thing, like sometimes that's such a bullshit statement and everybody wants to use it, but this was one of them seasons where you could really tell these guys really were liking to be on this team, and it was weird. It's like it does make it more fun as a fan to watch that you think these guys actually want to play in your fucking city when. God, it seems like for so long, no one ever wanted to play in Cleveland. They just made fun of it. Now it's even better. Now is that now you got guys that are talking shit, and our dudes are now ready to fight. I mean, it's like we got big dudes now. Like we got dudes now who can kick the shit out of a lot of these. So it's fun.
And our people are afraid of our secondary too. You got Ward, Emerson, Delpit, Newsome.
If we can just stay healthy, man. Jesus.
Even Mitchell and McLeod have.
Thornhill.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that one game. San Francisco came to town. Trent Williams thought, I'm going to come in and push these guys around because they're getting chippy on the sideline pregame. And then the game itself, that dude goes out basically, and we beat them. But they came in acting like they're going to push us around in our own place.
Yeah. So what are you guys looking? Looking down the road. Honestly, the team's going to be almost the same. It really is. I mean, like our free agents that we're losing really aren't many that you're really going to. Zadarius Smith, there's a couple guys that had good season stuff, but we're not. The core of the players are staying, and they're all signed through next year. I don't think this is going to really. I just think the key is to stay healthy, right? I mean, like that's it right there. There's not.
We got to figure out that
backfield though.
What's that?
The running game. We don't even know about the running game. That's what worries me.
Yeah,
and the wide receiver. We need another set of hands.
I think the running game is going to have a lot to do with our offensive line, and I think whatever. I guess we'll find out. Everyone says Callahan this, Callahan that. I guess we're going to find out some of that stuff next year too. I hope not. But I think we might. And then you got, the health factors. I mean, like, do we have a bunch of freaking glass-made players? Is that what we got? Or was that
Conklin Conklin and Ward.
Yeah. There are Conklin. Well, Conklin, I think. Conklin
paper cut injuries.
Yeah, he's like the mummy at this point. Just like all bandages and just like. I
want DeJuan Jones to come back hard, though.
I have big hopes for that dude.
Yeah, I like him.
He played well.
Yeah.
Steal of the draft.
Yeah, he handled Watt when we played Pittsburgh, So, I mean, you can do that. I mean, you can match up against anybody in this league.
I just love watching Buckeyes on the Browns flourish because I got so sick and tired of watching Buckeyes on every other team, especially Pittsburgh. They just constantly took our line back.
Holmes and Shazier and all those guys. Yeah. Jeez.
Shazier. Yeah, that was those.
Cameron Hayward.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
They all went there.
Yeah.
That guy's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think also tight end. Yeah, are you guys sold on Bryant or Akins?
No, I think there's going to be changes with Dorsey coming in and a lot of
Akins,
this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't do much.
A question mark, but no Akins.
Yeah,
he didn't do much.
Right.
He didn't do much.
I think if they can get Bryant for like a not a minimum deal, but like a very affordable contract, I think he comes back.
Extremely affordable.
Yeah, but other than that, I think Akins is a one and done.
Yeah.
You know, I think Bryant. The problem with Bryant is that sometimes when they ask him to do too much, he kind of fucks up.
Yeah.
And I think if you keep him in his lane, like you're in the block, occasionally you're going to catch a 3-yard pass. Maybe you'll take a snap and do a quarterback sneak, and you seem to be pretty good at that. You know.
Yeah.
Do those little goofy plays with him, then I think you're okay. But if you're like making him your number one tight end, you're in for trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'd like to see if we could carry 2 kickers. I was impressed with Riley Patterson. After Hopkins fell out.
Yeah. Keep him.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they're going to keep a roster spot. Take one for 2 kickers. I could see one.
I know,
on
but
the practice squad, and then seeing if they can. But they're on everyone's practice squad's got to pretty much have a kicker.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. I just can't see him doing it. But I will say that I just hope Hopkins isn't one of them dudes that. I mean, dude, kickers are so weird. He could be the worst fucking kicker next year in the whole league, and not look like anything like himself just because he's a kicker.
And most kickers are like that. But
that's what I mean. They're so
Tucker's
rare.
Never been
like
that, which is weird.
Right. There's only a few like ever. You know, there's like a handful ever that have been that consistent, and it's weird. You know, it can happen in a thing. Hopkins has never been known to be this good. I mean, he wasn't sitting there available when we got him at the beginning of the season because he was so freaking great. You know what I mean? That part always is like, it's like relief pitchers in baseball, right? Like one year a relief pitcher can be just so dominating, and then the next year you're like, what's happened?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this guy sucks.
They get the yips.
Yeah.
The Chuck Knoblauchs.
The Chuck Knoblauch yips.
Like we were just talking about all that shit.
Hey, you know who we forgot to? We haven't mentioned yet. It was Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I love that guy, man.
Yeah, he really stepped up this year, big time.
He was all over that field. He was a ball hawk. He was everywhere. We lost Big Bri again.
They got him in blackface again.
Yeah, he's in blackface. Oh man.
There he is.
Mike's there. Hey, Mike.
I also pulled the fucking cord out of my headphones at the same time. There's a double whammy on me there. I got fuck. All right.
He fainted. He just got his electric.
I was like, oh.
Hopefully they aren't like too in love with Ford though, because he's a draft pick. Because I want to try every other possibility at running back.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're going to draft a running back for sure. For sure.
But I mean, even free agents, because
he
just has no burst. He's too indecisive. He's
streaky.
Yeah.
Like he's capable of pulling off an 80-yard run, which he did a few times last year, but it's few and far between.
Yeah, and that padded his statistics, and he gets like 3.5, 4 yards a carry. Man, not really.
Not really.
I watched 2 games against the Texans. I never once saw Singletary do anything but move forward.
Yeah, right.
It's like, what are you doing, dude? He stands there for a second. It's like you gotta know where you're going as a running back.
Yeah, all the stutter step crap doesn't work.
The dancing,
Not in our division. We go against the best defenses in all of football.
Yeah.
So we got to have good hands. We got to have good blocking, and
the line is
running backs
critical.
have to hit the gaps.
Yeah, the lines are so critical in our division, both offensive and defensive, so critical. It's unbelievable. And the Browns for the last couple of years have been holding up on their end on that part of it for sure. Have had that next year's is going to be trying. I just think that's going to be a tough thing. Not so much the defensive line, basically just because Garrett's there. You'll always be at least good. You know, just with him, you're at least good. And the Zadarius Smith thing will be interesting. I don't think he'll be back, because I do think that there's a lot of defensive linemen that are out there on the market that they'll grab somebody. I
wish
that's the theory.
I wish he would come back.
But I think that's the theory. I think that's kind of Barry's thing. You know, you have this dominant guy on one end, and you can just keep rotating free agents over there and try to get him at some kind of a decent price and keep him there. You know,
I could see that. I could see them bringing back Shelby Harris and Maurice Hurst for a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
it would be nice
if the price is right.
If the price was right, yeah.
And these guys benefit from playing around other players like that because it prolongs your own career. I mean, you can't tell me it's not easier to play next to them dudes than it is to play against schmucks where they're all triple teaming your ass, right?
Yeah, they're all chipping on Garrett, you know, and Clowney had it easy here.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That clown.
Didn't stop him from running his mouth, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sucks ass. That guy's an asshole.
Yeah, just remove that EY from your name, clown.
Yeah, that guy's a friction. He's what a joke, man. But, you know, whatever. I mean, whatever. But I love that there's clownies in the world because now when I play Baltimore, I just want to see that dude get his head smashed in. Like, I love having dudes to look at in a game that I just want to see. Remember Harrison for Pittsburgh was dudes where you never really got the satisfaction of him going down, but I wish I did like a Chubb knee to Harrison would have been sweet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, man, so what do you think? Like, you know, Chubb, I got to be honest with you guys, man. I'm not real sold on the fact that I think he's coming back anywhere near, if at all, Chubb. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
I think he's a workout warrior, really, and if he
if it's possible
with Georgia once already, same knee and everything, I would feel way worse.
Just scares me. It's the same knee, you know.
Yeah,
it's a lot of damage for.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. He's a freak, though, right? That's like total freak.
He just if there's one Iron Man on the team, it would be him.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and you know, for what it's worth, too. You know, when you look at the draft pick situation, and we don't have any number ones, and I was like, oh god, we don't have number ones. You know, we again, just like wide receivers, we haven't been great on number ones either. You know, just the obvious ones like Garrett, like where every person and their mother would take Garrett with that pick and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, I'll give you a couple of those, but number twos, we've been all right. Uwusu Koromora, as you just mentioned a little bit ago, got him with our number 2 pick. We got Chubb. Nick Chubb was a number 1 in the second round.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that draft. I wanted Bradley Chubb too, and we ended up getting his cousin, and worked out better than that.
Yeah, dude. I never knew that. We never knew when we got him, but that Chubb.
They don't really draft running backs early in the draft anymore. So
we learned our lesson after Richardson.
Yeah, but that's probably also good for us of getting a good one, and hopefully he'll be a good pass receiver too.
Now, do you guys agree that because I've said this forever, and I think that's one of the greatest trades in Browns history was
Trent Richardson for a number 1.
That was it.
Yeah,
that was one of the most incredible trades when it happened. I think everyone in Cleveland was like, "How did that happen?"
How did that?
Like what?
Same guy that moved the Baltimore Ravens to Indianapolis.
Well, they need Andrew Luck needed running back.
Irsay did that trade.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And Irsay's a genius. I don't understand what that is. You know?
I guess not always.
Yeah.
It was a great trade, but we blew the draft pick like normal.
Yeah.
Well, we did. Well, we blew most of them, so that really wasn't a big deal at the time because that's what we did.
And Trent
who did we get the year? The cornerback. Who was that? That like really
Justin Gilbert.
Gilbert. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The guy made Johnny Manziel look competent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who was passed over for him?
I was excited for him too when we picked him. I'm like, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
Hated football.
Yeah. It's terrible. All right, man, let's talk about the Super Bowl a little bit, man. We got that coming up Sunday. Super Bowl 58, Chiefs 49ers. You got Mahomes versus Purdy. Seems kind of funny to me. And it's in Las Vegas, Nevada, blah, blah, blah. San Fran's given 2. And the over-under is 47.5 points. I think this is going to be a really fun Super Bowl if you're just into good football games. I don't have any interest though, rooting interest. What do you guys think? Let's start with you, Don. What do you think about the game? Who are you rooting for? What are you thinking?
I'm saying you bet the over on that. There's going to be more than 48 points.
Yeah.
With Patrick Mahomes, and he might get all 48 of them, but he's going to be done. And Taylor Swift's going to be there, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Now, I think the Chiefs, just from experience, and they got momentum, and Brock Purdy's been, he's kind of slow and losing that momentum lately, but he's a smart quarterback, though. So, I mean, as long as he manages a game, the 49ers will be in it. But
they got a lot of weapons.
I think the Chiefs, I'd like to see the 49ers, though.
So you'd like to you don't really have a rooting interest, but if you have anybody, the 49ers, I guess.
I just like whenever the Chiefs look like they're human and they can be beaten. So when the Browns see, the Chiefs can be beaten.
Makes
when
you feel better.
Play the Chiefs, they have some confidence. Not like, oh, we have to go against this guy's.
I understand. That makes sense totally. What do you think, Jeff?
I am gonna focus on Chase Young, and I believe this is where he gets another contract or rides off into the sunset, because since Ohio State, I don't believe he's shown up.
No, as a pro, he was such a dominating force in college. As a pro, not so much. He had these little flashes here and there, but you would definitely think up there with Boza, that would be just an absolute. I don't understand why that's not more devastating. And lately, as of late, I've been looking at the stats. As of late, they've been like the Browns kind of where they kind of like faded away their last few games. Their defensive line hasn't been as dominating as it was in previous times also. So that's probably going to be a concern for them also. So who you picking?
Right. Did you hear the Chase Young might be benched for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I heard that.
I heard that.
I did not.
Maybe
you guys hear why?
Came back post injury.
Ineffectiveness.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, he was taking plays off. That was some.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe
he's kind of in the doghouse. Yeah.
Maybe
dude was such an animal.
I know.
What an animal that dude was on Ohio State. He was an animal, man. He was like a freaking beast. It's amazing to me.
I give him a tryout, and maybe Schwartz could do something.
Yeah, a little bit of may the Schwartz be with him, dude. He changes people.
Use the Schwartz.
Yeah, dude, use the Schwartz. What do you think, Dan? What's your Super Bowl outlook, picks, and all that stuff?
Well, I really am anxious to see Christian McCaffrey on the big stage. I really think he's the best player for any team in any position, football player on the field that we're going to see Sunday. And I'm anxious to see if he will score 2 to 3 touchdowns and really kind of take the game over from an offensive perspective. Purdy's going to need his help. I'm not sold on Brock Purdy at all. I think he's a good system guy. He's pulled off a few late wins for them, which is encouraging, but he's still kind of making some mistakes. I think the key is going to be for the Niners is going to be Chris McCaffrey, and then if their defense, it gets some pressure on Mahomes. And for the Chiefs, who's going to step up besides Kelsey? They have a huge question mark at other receivers. Nobody. Kadarius Toney sucks. Marcus Valdez-Scantling is awful. Rashee Rice is a rookie. He's streaky. They don't really have that number one receiver that will scare you. They have Kelsey, and that's about it. So
Tony says he is. Tony just said to the media, "I'm a number one."
Oh, I seen that. Yeah, and
Isn't that hilarious?
I posted that if he can actually hold on to the ball, consistently, maybe.
That
line up off sides.
That was on your feed. I love that. That's hilarious.
So you're basically thinking Mahomes just because of that advantage, and that advantage, you don't even really need to go past that. That's it. That they have the advantage in this game. Is that what you're saying?
I think the Chiefs have the advantage because they've done it before. You're a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
You've been there one other time and you lost to Brady. So whereas the Niners, the only time they were there, they lost to the Chiefs, and it was with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. So and they didn't have McCaffrey that year either. So a lot of those guys from the Niners, this is going to be their first real experience in the Super Bowl. Whereas the Chiefs, Andy Reid's been there. The whole staff's been there. Everybody, 90% of the guys that are starting for the Chiefs, they've been there before. They know what to do. So I think you got to go with the experience. And, I think the NFL really likes the whole Taylor Swift thing.
Yeah,
as well.
Holding.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you never know, man.
I would love to see the 49ers win, though. I'm an old school 49ers fan from back in the Montana.
Yeah. 49ers are going to blitz often. Watch. Or no, the Chiefs are, because they're going to try to pressure the young quarterback.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
And Darnold comes in to save the day.
Sam Darnold.
That would be the best. I got to be honest with you. I don't know really how I feel about this, except that there comes a time for me always with these guys, like with Tom Brady too, it happened, where after a while I just give in. I fought the Brady thing at the beginning. I was like, oh, fuck this punk. And then after a little while, I was like, man, I think I might be watching like maybe the greatest quarterback ever. So I think, and it kind of just changed the way I watched those last few Super Bowls with him, where I kind of rooted for him. I hate to say it, but I did. I know that's not popular, but that's kind of how I became. And I kind of think that's what's happening with Mahomes with me, is that I'm starting to realize that it's like he's a real likable dude too, which is another thing that makes things really like tough. Is he's kind of a likable guy. He's not like a real arrogant asshole in the way that he's dislikable, and so it's kind of hard for me not to like him. I kind of like that.
You say that about like him, like how you felt about Brady. Brady was pick 199, but Brock Purdy was 265. He was Mr. Irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
So that's more like the Brady.
I mean, like if you want to look at it that way, I'm just talking about when I'm looking at somebody who just like keep repeating. I know some people look at it like. I think some people look at it like, oh, I'm sick of this guy, where I kind of look at it like after a while, like once they get to the Super Bowl, I don't root against them, man. I'm like, you know what, dude? I want to see this guy win whatever. It's weird how football works. You only see these guys from these little windows. I mean, I remember when it was Montana and Marino, and you were watching these dudes, and you're like, oh my God, man, look at this. We've seen Peyton Manning, and we've seen like these windows of time where these guys are just incredible, and you're watching, and we saw that with the Patriots, and now it's Kansas City, and the AFC really, all these teams that we talk about, the Browns, and we rag on all these other teams, and we talk about all these teams. It's been two fucking teams in the AFC for the last how many years? Really? I mean, that's it. That is it.
There's also a reason, because you saw this year when they weren't getting as many calls their way. They're throwing their helmets, whining their asses off. That team is given so many passes on things that we could call against anyone else. I'm still pissed about the Higgins play at the goal line.
Yeah, well, that is sickening.
They need to change that rule this year.
Yeah, but it's not even the rule. It's that defender hit his helmet, didn't even use his hands at all.
Led with his helmet. Dove into him with his helmet.
Yeah.
No call on that. I don't care about the fumble. Where was the throw?
Yeah, the fumble really didn't go out of the end zone, did it?
It did.
It went through the pylon. Yeah, it went through the pylon and then to the side of the end zone, which is out of the end zone.
If it was the role reverse, it would have been called targeting on the Browns all day long.
100%.
But if a team fumbles the ball out of the end zone like that, and as long as somebody else doesn't recover it, bring it back to the 20, but don't give the other team the ball.
That was the biggest shock of my life watching that.
Too strict.
No call.
That wasn't the biggest shock of my life. That was eerily the same as the fumble.
No,
very much like the fumble.
When the Chiefs pulled that off, that sucked.
It was similar to
Chad
secondary.
No, I'm talking about
with this helmet. The guy should have been thrown out of the game.
No. I'm talking about the Biner fumble.
Biner fumble.
I'm talking about the Biner fumble. I says it was eerily similar to the Biner fumble, where the guy's going into the end zone, and in the last second, it's like, what?
That was because he was out partying coke all night the night before.
I think
that's why he on the
you heard it here first.
I know it happened.
Well, he did have a great game up until the fumble.
My brother's girlfriend was there watching him do it.
My cousin's best friend's sister.
No BS.
Okay, hold on. Let's talk about that for a second now. So tell me a little more. What you now?
And how do you do that after Donnie Rogers? How do you go party cocoa night the day before the AFC Championship game?
Hey,
I mean,
Babe
are
Ruth
you
used to eat a
fucking
6-pack of hot dogs in the dugout.
Well, Kevin Mack did get arrested for it after that too. Remember that?
Well, in the 80s, I think there was a lot of people doing cocaine everywhere.
ridiculous?
I think it was everywhere. I think that was a lot
Coach
different
Mackey at
time.
Cleveland State, too.
Yeah.
Remember that, Mac and Mackey? It was
Yeah,
like, and you know, Mac Ryan would crack. The whole thing was
Mackey and
insane. Yeah,
Cracky.
it was like it just all was fun for a while there. You could write songs and all kinds of shit. Yeah, it was like the good old days. Those were the fun days, man.
Yeah.
Remember that? That was those 80s were a cocaine filled. I mean, you had Lawrence Taylor.
Never once tried.
LT.
yeah.
Who was the guy? Who was the guy with the Dallas Mavericks? Tarpon or Roy?
Oh, Roy Tarpley.
Tarpley.
Roy Tarpley.
What a story that is. If you ever want to look up a great guy who really just pissed his entire freaking life away, that dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think the contract was on the table, and he failed for a cocaine test. Anyway, so you guys, so is it kind of like San Fran? Is that what you guys are all three? Would you say you're kind of rooting San Fran?
Oh yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
Do you like the fact that he was? Do you like the fact that he's at, like, you know, was the coach, the offensive coordinator here at one point, and all that stuff when it happened?
Shanahan.
Well, yeah, that was kind of such a bizarre thing, right?
It was a raw deal. He was stuck with
Johnny.
Denzel.
That was Farmer. That was when Farmer was running things here, right?
Yeah.
Right. And that was the whole Johnny Manziel text messages and all that shit. And
Never
at
watched
the end of
film.
that, Shanahan was like, "Get me the fuck out of this place,
How do you not watch film? He just got the money and wanted to be done with football.
dude." Yeah, he was something else.
Johnny
Partying with his.
Johnny won because
And doing this shit, we were like, "Get him."
Yeah, he was always at that one bar in
The Nine.
What's it called?
The Nine.
Oh yeah, well that's where he lived. But
That's where he lived.
Yeah, but he had a
There's a bar
girlfriend
right
out
there.
there, like
The Barley House.
Barley House. Yeah, he was always out there partying and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You
Johnny.
knew it was trouble.
That was great times.
Come get me, man. Let's crush this league.
Let's wreck this league together,
Wreck
bro.
this league.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's close this bar together.
Anybody's out of toilet paper, I actually have 2 Manziel jerseys. I didn't buy either of them.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Well.
I kind of wanted him though, because seeing like what he did to Alabama and seeing like he was beating quality teams just with his legs. He was like Fran Tarkenton out there scrambling around looking like a freak of nature, you know?
Yeah.
That draft was Mike Junkin times 2.
Mike
Junkin.
Remember the Mad Dog in a meat market? Wasn't that what they called Mike Junkin?
Yeah.
That was Schottenheimer.
That was Schottenheimer, yep.
Yeah,
that was a lot. That's Schottenheimer's the Mad Dog. He's a Mad Dog.
I don't know. I don't know if he said it. I think it was somebody on staff.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought it was Schottenheimer that said it. But still, that was how they sold him.
I love Schottenheimer back in the day. He just couldn't win the big one, you know?
Chip Banks.
Yeah. You know who could win the big one, though, was Tom Cousineau. He could get the big one.
Cousineau, yeah. Yeah, he'd get with Leon Bibb.
But
Man. Tom Cousineau, dude. You know, I'll tell you what's funny, man. When I went to St. Ed's, I know it's like whatever, but I went to St. Ed's for 3 years. And as soon as you'd walk into the gymnasiums, that front doors right there was always a fucking poster of Tom Cousineau in Ohio State Buckeyes uniform, always because he went to Ed's and whatever. He was like the pride of St. Ed's, and it's like no,
Northeast Ohio's favorite guy, man.
Yeah,
like your pop bottles.
He was
like candles and pop
Kellogg,
bottles, candles and pop bottles, and whatever else he could fit in there. I guess I don't know. Kept him up. He was a hell of a linebacker.
He did not play tight end.
He was split end.
We digress.
Oh, that's great.
He was a split end. Oh my god, dude, that's a phenomenal. Oh yeah, we're going to hell for that one. We're gonna be knocking on our doors.
We love you, Cousineau.
Yeah. Good old Tom.
You make
Good
us
old
For the
Tom.
memories.
Anyway, so next year, man, Browns are gonna do what? What do we think? Are we excited? Are we excited? Are you guys thinking? I mean, like, is this like after everything that's happened and you got all this knowledge of everything you know about Watson as far as what you do know about Watson, but you do know some things after watching the whole thing that unfolded with Flacco and watching the team actually for a while there clicked. Watching Njoku have a game like he had, that changed some things in my head a little bit about a guy like Njoku and stuff like that. The defense just whooping the fuck out of teams last year. That was fun.
Yeah.
So you got this, the expectations. This is kind of the first time in a long time where my expectations are more so like, I just feel like I'm ready to just go out there and start stomping people again instead of worrying about what might go wrong. It's like, let's go start a fight. You know what I mean? Like, instead of worrying, let's go start one. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I feel this year. What do you think? Dan, what do you think?
I think that we have a great opportunity to win 12, 13 games this year. And I'll tell you why. Pittsburgh, I think it's going to be in a transition. I think they're going to look at a quarterback maybe in the first round because nobody likes tiny hands Pickett. And nobody, they're not going to go back, to Mason Randolph, Rudolph, sorry.
That's
so I think we could take two from Pittsburgh this year. We always play the Bengals tough. And even if we split with the Ravens, I think we can take the division. Yeah, the Ratbirds, yes.
Ratbirds.
Yeah. So I think I think the schedule is favorable for us this year in a lot of ways. So like Dan was saying and Jeff was saying, we got these guys locked up. Big Bri, you even mentioned how we got a lot of guys locked up this year. And as long as we get the
core, it seems like we do have a core.
Coming in.
Yeah.
I think we could do a lot. 12, 13 wins. That's my prediction. What do you guys think?
I think it's doable. I mean, everyone's going to say the same thing. Well, it all depends on Watson. I'm looking for Watson to have a good year. I really am.
If he stays healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Health is everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, do Delpit and JOK continue to rise and become amazing players? And all these young guys really have to shine, like Alex Wright. And we didn't even see some of the guys, the guy we paid extra to get on a practice squad all year. We didn't even see him other than preseason. Hopefully these young guys will come of age, and we got to get the draft and free agency right, but health is number one.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think, Dan?
I think a AFC North championship is a legitimate goal. And if I would have said that 3 years ago, I would be laughing and people would be laughing at me.
Yeah.
I think that the next logical step for this team is to go for that division championship, double-digit wins, at least 11, if not 12, 13. Get that home playoff game. You need it. You haven't had one since 1994. Well, New Year's Day 1995. We need to get that and get to the AFC Championship game at least. I mean, I think they have the tools in place to do it. They have the talent. They have the coaching. They have the front office has the resources. The ownership has the resources. The time is now to make this kind of step. We got a taste of it this year, and I do think that had they been a little bit more healthy, we could have made a deeper run in the playoffs. Maybe even taken over football. Maybe even past Baltimore for the division. Didn't happen. But I think if everything is the way it should be, that these things are legitimate goals that they should be shooting for, and if they don't hit them, then we should be disappointed.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with all three of you, actually.
A real backup QB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again,
I think it'll probably be Brissett.
Hope so.
Well, let's just be honest, real quick. I got 1 minute, real quick. The Stefanski loves people that know his systems and they're easy to teach. He doesn't want to have. If you see, he always says that. He's like, well, the guy he's from that system. He's from that. He's already familiar with this. He knows that. He loves the pull from that. So yeah, I could see him getting a guy like Brissett because he's already worked with him.
I want better.
Yeah.
That guy couldn't hit the barn side of a broad at first.
Who, Brissett?
He threw 5-10 feet away from the receivers, and everybody went to saint him. we were 4-7. Watson
It's
didn't
true.
have a chance when he comes.
That's true.
He
We
comes
haven't
in,
seen.
And he threw some bad interceptions at some bad times.
Think about that trick play when he should have done the quarterback sneak. He didn't throw the ball anywhere near that receiver because he hadn't played.
Yeah.
The guy's a journeyman for a reason.
There it is, right there, man. And everybody immediately has been put back in their place by the great Hatrix.
I mean, seriously, he's not the man. He's not the man. I mean, think about it.
Put them in their place. Thank you, Jeff. Immediately.
How many amazing plays did he have for Washington? I counted about 0. I mean, everybody wanted the guy back. I don't want Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, I don't really care. I really don't care because again, I'm just going to say it again. Without Watson, I don't feel I don't give us much of a rat's chance.
It shouldn't be Walker. It should DTR should be like learning like Hoyer did forever. And
I don't think DTR is the answer, dude. I got to be honest with you. He never passed
maybe one day.
He didn't pass my
off the couch.
He just
had
doesn't
no
look
pregame before his Baltimore game. He was actually starting to play better.
I know, dude.
Against the Raiders, and then they took him out.
I wasn't impressed.
They hit him on a play. He should have been called targeting too.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see. I just hope it doesn't come down to a backup quarterback. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Like a real one.
We're out of time. That was fun, man. Another really good time. Yeah, you guys. We'll probably do that. We can do one a month if you guys want.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'll remind
close to the draft.
I'll remind you.
So many
free agency will start.
Hey, real quick, man. We can do as long as we want, but real quick, I'm gonna go around. Don, you got anything going on you want to talk about, man? Real quick, anything happening with One Life or anything?
I still got my book. Motivate Me, and then the latest One Life All In album.
Yes.
I Have the Storm. Out on Fast Break Records.
Hey, look. I'll be honest with you. It's a great book. Anybody? I mean, it is. It's a phenomenal book.
Yeah,
and the One Life All In. I love it.
Thanks for everything you do, Big Bri. You're a solid rock, man. You're the foundation.
Yeah, you guys all three are all of it.
Thanks
Everybody here. Jeff, what about you? Anything going on right now? You got your recording. You're tracking, ain't you, man?
Yeah, I'm doing a guest spot on a song by a band called Die Humane. Former Exodus guitarist and some really good musicians, and
nice.
They had the number 6 album on a lot of the metal charts last year.
Cool, man. Cool. So that's what's going on right now. So that's coming out pretty soon.
Yeah.
Dan, I know you got some new stuff talking about. I know you're doing some things, ain't you?
Yeah, I got a radio show coming out every Thursday from 9 to 10 on the CatastropheRadio.com channel. It's called Galactic Doom. Specializing in doom metal, stoner metal.
I really had a blackout.
Yeah, old 70s metal. That wasn't Sabbath, stuff like that. So I'm excited about that.
So let me get this straight though. Did you say Thursday from 9 to 10?
9 to 10.
Oh, indirect.
I know.
That's the same time that Rockstar Radio's on.
Yeah, I think that coincides a little bit. Just a half hour overlap there. There's a half hour overlap.
You can miss the first half hour of mine.
It's all right. Mine does a replay. Are they going to have a replay for you too? I mean, will
they'll do a replay. I don't know exactly when it'll be, but I know there'll be at least one replay during the week. And then,
where's it at? Where's it at again?
CatastropheRadio.com.
Kenny
Kids channel, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Ron, I have a question.
On a good show.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Are we still getting this heavy metal Family Feud or Jeopardy or whatever?
Dude, I really have a great idea I want to talk to you guys about. I really do, dude. And it's just a nervous thing for me because pulling the trigger means entering into a huge project and starting that bullshit again. And it's like, do I really want to? But like the funny thing is truthfully, dude, since I've been out of it, I've been itching, man. And yeah, dude. And I went to the Shotgun Bowl on Sunday for Aletheia and all that. That was really well done. That's a lot of fun. I went last year too. That's really cool. And I talk, so I'm running into a lot of people and that know the show and everything, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I would like to get back into it. I don't know. But there is something that I'd like to do. I got a great idea, and I'll talk to you guys about that another time. But
That's cool.
But yeah, definitely something, dude. We're doing something.
So what about just bringing back the other thing too, and only doing once a month on that?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like I might just do it like I did. I don't know. We'll say. Well, I mean, like if you're gonna do that kind of thing, dude, I think you got to do it once a weeker, and just go for broke and do it like I did it. I mean, like it's just a lot of work, but dude, it was fun.
Yeah.
And you know, like it was fun bringing some of the newer bands in. You know. By the way, just I want to mention, yesterday, the Jeffrey Nothing episode hit 10,000 views yesterday.
Nice.
10,000
awesome.
yesterday.
Wow.
That was a landmark.
Yeah.
And it allows me to anybody that I meet down the road, and they're like, "Oh, I heard you had a podcast." You know, they always want to make fun of you about stuff like that. How many views was it? I'll be like 10,000, bitch. 10,000 views. That's right.
That's awesome.
It allows me to say that, and you know, and I won an award, even though. Look at I got all my props ready to go.
There it is.
There. Everything's ready to go.
The award-winning
awesome.
Level Up Cleveland show.
Yeah, there it is. I got that too. It's sitting here ready
That's crazy
to go.
because I knew it was at like 9,800 or something, but that's awesome.
Yeah, 10,000 views, and that thing doesn't really slow down. Same thing with Foose, and same thing with Larry the Wolf. That dude's
Larry the Wolf. I love that guy, man. He's great.
Yeah, me too, man. All right, guys, that's all the time we got. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, brother.
And we will see you guys next time.
Take care, everyone. Peace.
Later.
See you later.
Go Browns!
Go Browns!
Go, Browns.